Good day, YouTubers, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all around the world. We're sanding up and puttying up. Putty works pretty good. Still got a rough coat on there. Fill in all them spots, low points, cracks in the seams. Yeah, it's going to be good when we sand that. Good enough to paint. And we'll do a sanding one time and then come back and touch up anything else I see I don't like, because this stuff goes on really easy and it's going to be easy to sand. So I think this is going to take care of the problem. All the low spots, the high spots will sand off. There's one high spot right there. We've got some low spots we want to add some to. Yeah, this is going to work good. Flip the switch, the ship over and putty up the other side. Seems like the more you sand, the more you gotta sand. We're creating a dust cloud in here. This stuff is pretty easy to sand, but dust is going everywhere. I do got it smooth enough to paint, but I'm using a combination of I think this is 220, yeah, 220 grit and some files. Get in the grooves along the definition lines, and then the sand for the heavy area, some other 220 grit, and then go back over it with the hand. But the more you do, the more you need to do. You got to stop somewhere. So this side is done. I'm going to turn it over and work on the other side. It's going to take days between the sanding and the painting. I don't know if I'll get to painting this week or not, but definitely filled all the low spots and sanded off the high spots, so we got a nice smooth surface. I think after we put a couple coats of paint on, we should be good. So keep sanding. So I probably should have known better. Premium is not the correct word. This stuff I got at the dollar store. That's a mistake. Yeah, when I did this San Juan, I used oil-based white paint. 2 coats. It just took a couple days to do it. But this, so I put it on, little turds and stuff started coming up in the brush stroke. And I know it ain't coming out of the Sanded this again and vacuumed it. I did a little touch up in a couple spots and let that dry overnight, and then sanded it one final time and started painting this area here. And man, a bunch of little turds were all in it. I don't know where it's either coming from, the mix, probably in the paint, because the paint ain't no good. So I'm gonna have to go get my oil base out and start over. Now we got some good old-fashioned, proven, tried and true Rust-Oleum oil base. Yeah, that's covering it. The other stuff wasn't even covering it. It was just like whitewash. Yeah, this will work. Of course, we'll do a good coat. Inspect it before it dries. And then sand it after it dries and do another good coat. But because the way we're laying the ship here, we're going to have to wait at least 12 to 14 hours in between coats for this stuff to cure and dry good. It is oil base, so it's going to make a nice coating, but protect it. Get some of the paint off the brush, put it somewhere else on the surface, and then work into those spots that you want to be your cut line. Get that cut line established. And you can see the fuzzy, and the wood is starting to absorb that paint. It's going to swell up just like the does when it gets water on it. That little fuzziness will come up. We'll have to sand that off after it dries. The fuzziness is nothing compared to that turds that were coming out of the water base, cheap stuff. I got a pretty good blob down here in the corner. I got to spread that out. My first job as a teenager, well, real job, I did work for my dad part-time with fluoroplastic coating, Teflon, PVC, and Kynar and stuff. I was sandblasting and sweeping floors. But I got my first real job for a sign painting company that painted signs. Most of them were done by hand back in the day before they had 3D stuff like they do now, computer, CNC and all that stuff. Everything was done by hand. And there was an old British guy working there that taught me the true art of hand painting letters. lettering signs. How you lay it out, and how the letters need to be shaped in order to be seen from a long distance. What kind of paint to use. So painting signs is an art in itself, especially if you're doing hand lettering with oil-based paint. And the paint they used was like I remember quarts. This is a gallon here, but probably 25-30 bucks. A quart of the sign painting letter paint was like 70 bucks. Really expensive, but it would last outdoors for years in the weather. You can see there's some cracks there that didn't get filled with putty good. The paint is soaking into the spots where the openings are. So I'm liberally applying some in those areas, and then I'll come back here in about 10 minutes and check for runs or areas that might need a little more paint. One of the old adages of paint is it covers up a multitude of sins. When you do crappy work, you can paint over it and hide your crappy work. We're not trying to do any crappy work here, though. We're striving for the best excellence, following directions. Got some boards I can lay across here and set this thing upside down so it doesn't hurt the railings or those bells that are sticking up. I think I might do that while I still have time. The other thing I learned when painting signs is you want to make sure that the coating of paint is evenly spread and it's not too thin. You want to get a good thick coat on there, especially the first time. So you want to go back over it several times to make sure you got an even coat. And it's nice and thick. All right, get some boards and get this thing upside down. Okay, that went pretty good. We got her coated in our first coat. Oop. You can see we need a second coat. I didn't do any putty in back there. I should have probably, So, exciting things ahead though. Looking at the plans there, we get to do the blue next. And some tan. The tan is on the rubbing stakes and then the blue is in between everything. So that's going to be fun. I think I got some blue oil base. Feels like a rock. Yeah, see, it's oil base. I don't know if it's any good though. I might have to get some more. I'm not going to use the regular cheapo acrylic stuff. I got a bunch of different colors of blue back there, but put too much work into this, use cheap paint, so I'm going to go get some good premium. But yeah, as you can see, blue is next and tan. I think I'll do the blue first and then the tan on the rubbing stakes, because that'll be with a smaller brush. The trouble with the blue is you're painting over those gun port holes, and it's easy to get big blobs of paint wanting to go in the hole as you're dragging your brush across there. So you almost got to paint around the holes and then try to spread it without dragging it into the hole. Each one of those holes is going to be a problem. Now we'll get it. Paint's always fun when you see the final colors and everything starting to come together. I'm excited. Well, we'll let this white dry for a day. It's Friday already, and I'll sand it up. I'm going out of town tomorrow. Visit the granddaughter and grandsons. The other thing I did this week was build the second planting bin. So I got 2 of them done. Now I just got to get the dirt in there. And then my wife wants me to build 2 more small ones along with that rack to hold up those trays. So I got enough stuff in the trailer to do some more. That's all the scrap from doing these first 2. See all those notch cuts, and then a bunch of screws going everywhere to make it strong and last. And we got rid of another rooster. That white chicken we had was a rooster. So now we only got 3 chickens left. I'm weary of that guy. That cockamoran, he might be a rooster too, but I don't hear him crowing yet. We gotta watch it. We ain't got no eggs yet. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You want to be petted? I already gave him some treats. It's some mealy worms and cracked corn. I got to clean that pool out again. So, good week. Got a lot done. Thanks for watching.